It is now time to get you caught up with some rapid reactions. Well, New York Congressman-elect George Santos is now under federal investigation for lying about his past. Now, prosecutors are looking into Santos's finances, including loans made to his campaign while he was running for Congress. And users have been coming to Santos' defense and going after some Democrats with a questionable past, like this user tweeting, "When candidate Richard Blumenthal lied about being a Vietnam vet, when candidate Hillary Clinton lied about running through sniper fire in Bosnia, when candidate Elizabeth Warren lied about her nationality, it all got shrugged off pretty fast." Now, others take aim at President Biden's past. Biden has lied about being arrested in civil rights march, his son getting killed in Iraq, being a truck driver, being top of his class, not knowing about Hunter's business, surviving a fire, and much, much more. Now, Santos is under major scrutiny for this tweet back in 2021, claiming that his mother died during the September 11th attacks. But later that same year, Santos tweeted, "December 23rd. This year marks 5 years I lost my best friend and mentor. Mom, you will live forever in my heart." But on his campaign website, it states, George's mother was in her office in the South Tower on September 11th, 2001, when the horrific events of that day unfolded. She survived the tragic events on September 11th, but she passed away a few years later when she lost her battle to cancer. Now, former Pennsylvania Senator Rick Santorum says it is only a matter of time for Santos to step aside.
He just seems like someone who is not particularly reputable. And I think his colleagues, once he gets there, once they take a look at it, I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on him to step down.
Well, the investigation into Congressman-elect Santos is still in its early stages. Carl, I know you have more on this.
Yeah, we're going to be talking a lot about that, including federal prosecutors opening an investigation into the representative-elect, George Santos, obviously alleging potential irregularities involving finances surrounding his campaign and where $700,000 came from. This coming under scrutiny for embellishing and fabricating, obviously, several other claims on his resume during his campaign trail time. Joining us for more on this is former Lieutenant Governor of New York's New York Post columnist and Newsmax contributor, Betsy McCaughey. Okay, Betsy, we were talking about this.
Let me say, it is clearly disgraceful conduct, but I disagree with Rick Santorum that Santos is probably going to step aside, because when you look at the number of members of Congress, including the United States Senate, who have weathered scandals of this sort, need I remind you of Elizabeth Warren, a.k.a. Pocahontas, or our Commander-in-Chief, Joe Biden, who claimed to drive a truck, claimed that he was in the top of his law school class, and many other false claims. So politicians know how to weather these things. Unless he is convicted of a felony, the House does not have the power to expel him.
Right. And, you know, obviously the campaign finance thing is a big thing. If $700,000 appeared in his account from someone or somewhere else, and then that's a straw donation, that's a problem.
Right.
However, outside of that,
felony offense.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. So, but I'm with you on this. Okay. I think this is a great opportunity for Republicans to say, okay, yes, we want to hold everybody to a higher moral standard. He did lie a lot on the campaign trail and got elected under what some say, or actually is, false pretense. I personally have a huge problem with the 9/11 issue. But that said, the Republicans have a real opportunity to say, okay, all these other lies that you just pointed out, Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden, et cetera, you guys resign first because you lied earlier, and now George Santos will resign.
Blumenthal's another one.
How's that?
And by the way, if it gets too hot in the Congress for George, he can always become a Democrat. Being a Democrat means you never have to say you're sorry, right?
That is actually true.
Here's another point. The only positive that's come out of this is that it revealed the incompetence of Santos's opponent, his Democratic opponent for Congress, because a local newspaper on Long Island, a very competent newspaper called the North Shore Leader, that's won 19 Pulitzer Prizes, disclosed almost all of these lies. They actually sent their reporters out to find out that Santos didn't own these big mansions on Long Island, that Santos hadn't had these jobs. They printed all the lies And even Santos's opponent didn't run with it. He didn't take that information and go to his media toadies in the New York Times and CNN and say, look, Santos is lying. So thank goodness we didn't elect Zimmerman.
Well, that gets me to the same point. I mean, like, we have a list of some of the things he lied about. I'm sure they can find it and put it up for us while we're talking. But one of the things is, like, worked at Goldman Sachs. Okay, this is a very verifiable thing. Like, hi, I'm, so-and-so with the, the Post-Tribune of wherever the heck, and I'd like to confirm that you ever had this employee. I'm sure that they would be like, yes, he did work here. They're not going to disclose any financial details, but, I mean, worked for Citigroup. These are not, like, small-town banks. These are major financial global players. You would think that they could verify this, right?
All of these facts were checkable. And even when they were disclosed to be lies, his opponent didn't do anything with that information. So it's clear that his opponent may be more honest, but he's clearly not capable of serving in Congress.
So let's talk about this 9/11 thing. This is the thing that really kind of chaps me a little bit because, like, look, 9/11 was a very somber occurrence for me, obviously. It was, he has two different tweets here. Okay, 9/11 claimed my mother's life, and then, December 23rd, he says December 23rd marks the 5 years. Now, I'm going to say plays devil's advocate here. Maybe he says she was in the towers but then got out. Maybe she got cancer from the debris. I don't know. I'm not going to defend the guy on this, but I am going to say, like, this is intolerable. Like, I think you're pretty bottom of the barrel for trying to claim some sort of notoriety on 9/11.
That's what I've always felt about Senator Richard Blumenthal from Connecticut. We have our differences with Democrats and Republicans on many issues, but he actually blatantly lied several times, claiming to be a Vietnam vet. We all have friends. We're of the age, Carl. We all have friends who lost their legs, lost their arms, lost their sight, or families whose loved ones lost their lives in Vietnam. 57,000 people died in Vietnam serving this country. Richard Blumenthal did not serve his country in Vietnam.
And it was the backbone of his initial election campaign. Totally tragic. Betsy McCaughey, wish we had more time. Appreciate you being here.
Glad to join you, Carl.
All right, folks.